We've all come across this type of situation where we want to extract a specific portion of text from another in Excel. It may be characters at the left, at the right, or even in the middle of the text. If you've ever struggled with this, then you need to learn the left, right, and mid functions in Excel. If you're already familiar with these functions, then you also need to keep watching this tutorial of the Excel minutes because we are going to be having an interesting exercise combining these functions with a find function. So without further delay, let's get into it. The first thing we want to do is to extract the country codes from the column contact in this table. We want to fill the country code column. For that, we will be using the left function. It finds the leftmost characters of a string of text to a certain length. Let's start by typing equal, then left, and double-click on the function. As you can see on the description of the function which appears right here, this function takes two arguments. The first is the text we want to extract from. In our case, it's D2, so we click on that. The second argument is the number of characters you want to return, including letters, spaces, and punctuation. In our case, our country codes have 3 characters, including the brackets. That makes 5 characters. We don't need to include the space in this example. So we have a total of 5 characters. We type 5 and press return. We can duplicate that for the rest of the rows and we have our final results. Let's move on to getting the phone numbers. Again, from the contacts column. We are trying to fill column F, phone numbers. For that, we will be using the right function. It is similar to the left function, except, you guessed it, it finds characters at the right instead of the left. Let's type equal, then right. Double-click on the function, select D2. This time around, the phone numbers have 9 characters. So we type 9, press return, and voila. Now we want to extract the month from the other dates column. The months are not at the left nor the right of the date. They are somewhere in the middle. So we will be using the mid function, which returns text of a certain length from the inside of a string. Let's type equal, then mid, and double-click on the function. The mid function takes 3 arguments. The string of text, which in our case is G2. Then we have the starting character. Let's count the characters together, starting from the left. Remember, punctuations and spaces are to be counted as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we begin with 6. So we type 6. Lastly, we have the number of characters to extract. Our months each have 3 characters. We type 3 and press return. All done. You do know we cannot end this tutorial without a befitting exercise, right? So here we go. We are going to fill a column with the name initials. So we want the first letter of the name and the first letter of the surname as displayed in the column name initials 1. First, we want to get the name initial, and that's easy because it's the very first character. So, left, from B2, select the first character. Good. Next, we want to know what separates the name from the surname. In this example, it is a space. To find the position of the space, we need the find function. This function returns the starting position of one text string within another text string. To understand the function, let's find the letter S from this name. So, equal, find, double-click on the function. The text we want to find is S, and we want to find it in cell B2. It returns 6 because S is at the 6th position. Notice that if we put S in lowercase, it returns 11. So the find function is case sensitive. It differentiates between uppercase and lowercase characters. Now that we've understood this function a little better, let's get back to our exercise. We were trying to find a space between the names, right? So, equal, find, space, from, B2. Great! Now we want to tell the function to go in the middle of our text right after the space and pick one character. So, mid, B2, E2, which is the position of the space, but since we want the character after that, we add 1. So, +1. How many characters do we want to extract? Just 1, which is the surname initial. 1, close bracket. Beautiful, we have our surname initial. Finally, we'll concatenate the two expressions to have our final result. So, equal, name initial in D2 and surname initial in F2. And we have our final results. For clarity's sakes, we did this exercise step by step, but we could as well have done it all at once in a single formula as demonstrated on the screen. When we type this single formula, we have the same result in one go. That marks the end of this tutorial. As always, please send us your requests on campmonisection@unicef.org. And until next time, keep practicing.